right, welcome back to another edition of the Singletrack Session, number 113, part of the TrailManners podcast. So, got a big week, got a lot going on, a lot of Ask TrailManners questions. Probably our biggest week, Ask TrailManners questions.
Oh, okay.
And some good ones. But let's start off. I mean, I know everybody's dying to know. Before I came, well, it was last night because I knew I had a massage appointment coming straight over here. We're at Bomber Studios. It's been a while. And I'm like, okay, what's good for recovery from meniscus surgery? And one of the things on there were donuts.
Yes, I think that's the top of the list.
Yeah, and
it's really close.
So I stopped at Dunkin' Donuts and bought a donut for you.
I appreciate that.
And that's when I realized when I stepped up to the counter, I'm like, a tear ran down my face, and the lady looks at me and she's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "I don't know Joel as well as I thought. I don't know what he likes."
Chocolate cake is my go-to.
Damn it.
That's okay.
Well, I got you one of their sour cream donuts, which is, I got me one.
Yeah.
So you can have a sour cream, or it's like a festy one. It's sprinkles with orange.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you take that home for your daughter.
Okay. Well, you have to do the sour cream.
Yeah, I'll give that a shot.
It's pretty good, and it's supposed to help healing and inflammation and stuff
exactly.
like that. So, but how'd the surgery go? I know people want to know.
It went well.
Yeah.
I was able to walk on it right away. That was a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. The doctor shaved away that little flapper that was catching in the posterior. Yeah, a little mud flap. And then from a previous surgery I had where they actually repaired it, the tissue that was around the repair was a little funky. So he shaved that part off.
Yeah.
And then the thing that was really bothering me on the medial, on the inside of the knee, was a plica. So plica is like this band of tissue, and it's just a worthless band of tissue. There's no reason to have it.
Yeah.
It was irritated, so he cut that out.
Wow.
Yeah, so I didn't realize I had a plica, and usually you don't know until you go in. And so it's gone. My knee feels better already.
Wow. How long was the whole procedure?
Not very long, maybe half hour.
Holy cow.
An hour at the most.
So it sounds like you just went to Great Clips. You got a trim in a half an hour.
Yeah,
right?
I was in and out pretty fast.
It's like, I need a trim here and here.
Yeah,
Number
it
2.
was good. And no weirdness with anesthesia this time. The last couple of times I've gone under the knife, I've had some really bad anesthesia experiences.
Well, because that was your speedball comment from last week.
Yeah, exactly. So this was good to go. Yeah. I really expressed my concern to the anesthesiologist. I said, dude, I'm not worried about anything except for that.
So if you have any expired gas, don't use it on
me. I didn't use gas this time.
What do they
It was just straight up
needles?
through the IV.
Oh.
And it's whatever that drug is, Proposol or something like that.
Huh. Were you awake?
No,
I wasn't awake. Out?
I guess it's really uncomfortable because he kind of cracks your knee open with his hip.
I'm not into that.
I got 3 ports on my knee right now where he went in, and so they put that tool in there. So you got to kind of spread that knee joint open to get in there.
You might have 3 donuts by the time this is over. I'm not even going to have one.
I can start running again in 4 weeks, and then I can start snowboarding in 6, I think.
Wow, that's
Something
good.
Like that.
So just therapy, strengthen it up, and you're good to go.
Yeah, just got to get the swelling down and get just make sure that the stitches and all that stuff are going to hold for the next 7 days.
Wow.
That's kind of the big concern now.
Yeah.
Just making sure that those don't pop out of there.
Well, I can't help with the stitches, but I know the donuts work for inflammation.
Yeah, I'm going to rub that donut on there.
Yeah. I mean, it's good for inflammation of the knee, but it does give you swelling of the belly.
Yeah, it does.
Donuts do. So it's kind of it's a tricky slope.
Yes.
Let's just say that when you go down that. Well, I hope everybody by now, we're recording this on Tuesday, so 2 days before it launches. So today's the 6th, which is the National Election Day.
Right.
And when you're sending a text to somebody, make sure you spell check because your phone will change an L to an R.
Right.
So you could actually send Happy National Election Day, which is a little different.
Yes,
right?
It is.
We actually saw something on that.
That's just any day for a guy.
Yeah. Hey, guess what today is?
Yeah. Well, it's like any other day.
But yeah, hopefully you set your clocks back as well. That's tricky. That actually threw me for a loop.
Yeah.
I woke up. I ran for the first time Sunday. And here's the deal. So I was off for at least 4 weeks.
Right.
No running. Didn't really, do anything, really. A little lifting here and there. Went running Sunday and did 5.5 miles.
Right.
It's kind of a normal 20-second. And my time was like a 9:40 pace.
Fast.
Average.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not right.
Yeah.
Because for me, that's pretty
good. Did you
good.
account for the changing of the sun?
I don't know if it counted. My watch did it, so I'm taking it.
Yeah.
I ran it this morning, and I definitely went slower because my calf was a little sore.
Right.
And it was still like barely over 10. So
yeah, nice.
Maybe what happened when I popped my calf, it just aligned it.
There you
go. So now I'm like how I should be.
You're much more efficient now.
I think so. I think
the power transfer is there where it should be.
Yeah.
The flux capacitor is operating
that's what
at
it is.
Maximal power
wattage.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. But here's a funny story. So, and this is where some people might. We've had this discussion on the podcast before about seeing people on the trail.
Yeah.
Whether we know them, we don't know them, or passing people, you know. So I'm running on Sunday. I haven't run for a while, and I come around, I think Strong's Canyon, so I'm coming out of it, heading south, and there's another runner coming towards me.
Right.
And it was a girl, and I looked, and I'm like, I know that person, right?
Sure.
I've seen that person before, but I'm by myself.
Right.
She's by herself.
Right.
There was absolutely going to be no conversation at this point because I'm like, I've already been bear sprayed.
Yeah.
I'm not going for a pepper spray this year, right? So I just says, good morning, and I just kept going. We were going opposite directions. So I ran, and then on the way back, passed a couple other ladies, and I was like kicking rocks and stuff. And, you know,
let them know you're there.
That worked out.
Yeah.
And then I got back to the parking lot, and the first girl
the solo
crisscross was there, and I go down to the car, and I'm like, man, it's still uncomfortable because there's no one around,
right?
You know, and I don't know why I worry about this stuff because I've been running close, and I'm not.
At least you worry about it. I mean, that's good.
I'm not a complete creeper,
right?
And so I'm kind of getting ready to get in the car, and all of a sudden, are you Eric?
Oh,
and I was like, crap.
2 steps back.
I know, because I'm like, dang it, and I'm like, yeah, and I'm like, you looked familiar. It was Courtney Fresh. So we saw her.
I haven't seen her.
I haven't either.
Ages.
Since like Snow Basin a year or so, half ago or whatever. So anyway, I explained to her, I said, I apologize. I did recognize you, but I'm horrible with names.
Right.
You know, so it was just, I said, I'm glad you didn't pepper spray me.
Yeah.
You know, being on the trail. So it was kind of funny, but it was fun to see somebody out on the trail again. And it was just kind of a funny story.
Right.
So we'll talk about a upcoming podcast with something around those lines that we won't spill the beans on. Also today marks a huge day for me. I have my first official training for my soccer team.
Ooh.
I'm officially the head coach.
Yeah.
I met the parents last Thursday.
You're the head coach? I thought you were the assistant coach.
I am the head coach.
How did that escalate so quickly?
I don't age. I think I'm older, so it's just kind of like you're the senior.
You're the senior. You've got a coaching license.
Yeah, exactly.
And here you go.
Here you go. So we had a parent meeting last week, and
gosh.
I got to meet half the parents and have to do the most uncomfortable thing in my life ever is you have to talk about yourself.
Yeah.
I hate that to a T. Yeah. But you're also trying to show them that, you know, I'm taking your 12-year-old boys and I'm going to teach them to play the game.
That you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Is what it comes down to.
So it was super uncomfortable, but it worked.
Yeah.
Because apparently,
nobody quit.
Apparently I'm still the coach after Thursday.
Right.
And I sent out a big team email.
Oh my gosh!
To all the parents.
So much responsibility.
I know, introducing myself and
emailing.
Yeah.
A
whole group of players,
Dude,
which goes to their parents.
Did you have to set up a Facebook page for this too?
I did not. They have one. It's like 20 people following it, so I like my chances of not dealing with that. But it was pretty good. I found out one of the moms, she's like, oh, my husband would have been here, but we were running late. He had to stop by the Quito's brewery and get some beer.
Oh, you're like best friend.
And I looked at her, and I'm like, right on, you know? And she's like, yeah, he's a huge IPA snob. And I'm looking at her again like, okay, you either, number one, have read my bio.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you want more playing time for your kid.
Yeah.
But then,
it's working so far.
But then she started blurting out, oh, no, he's huge into Mother Earth, Melvins. And I'm just sitting there like... It's National Erection Day. I was like so excited, right? I'm like, this is really cool.
You're like, I like the purple can at the Quito's.
She's
please.
like, yeah. And so we started talking, and my assistant coach like, oh, Eric's a huge. And I'm like, don't say it loud because there's other parents
right, exactly.
here.
You don't want to be known as the alcoholic coach.
Yeah. Hey, welcome. Hey, I'm sober for 10 days. You know. But then we kept talking, and she's like, you know what? This works out great because my husband goes to it's the Great American Brew Fest in Denver, and I'm not going with him next year, so you can go.
Right.
So I'm like, this is escalating very quickly.
Yes.
And yeah, it was a riot. So met a lot of cool parents. But yeah, pretty excited. And then on Saturday, we are scrimmaging Aaron Hill's daughter's team, Avery.
Wait, aren't you coaching boys?
I am, but their team's amazing, and our guys need some training.
Are they the same age group?
They are 06s.
So when Avery totally destroys you,
yep.
How's that going to go down?
You know, here's my thing. I
saw her skills.
She's rad. That's why I was talking to her mom, saying, "Hey, you know, our boys need to get beat.
Yes,
because they have a tournament over Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I want to, step in. I haven't had a training session,
right?
So it's not going to fall on me. Like, hey, I don't know why they did that.
Yeah, exactly.
But the girls' team's legit, so it'll be fun because Avery does have some skills.
Yes,
and I already told her mom, please have her take it easy. You know, my boys
are
good. The boys' team's good.
They come out and crush you guys.
My boys' team's really good. I haven't seen the girls' team, but they had, I think, like this season, their girls' team had 75 goals for, 0 against this season.
They're pretty legit.
Yeah, I know they're playing down a division, but yeah, so it's going to be pretty fun to see them. And I got a present I'm going to take to her too.
Nice.
Yeah, but I can't say because she might accidentally hear this before the game. And then, shifting gears totally completely, we got to take a minute. We have, it seems like it's happening every year now.
3 years in a row.
Yeah, we lost another local runner.
Right.
He went out Halloween, I believe, and 2 days later they found him. He had, and I don't know the story. I didn't want to find out, to be honest with you, on so many levels. But it sounds like he, was just found.
Where, Box Elder Peak?
Yeah, something like that. And I guess the conditions were getting bad or icy up higher or something. And he's very, again, we're talking about someone who's he gets up in the mountains. He knows his way around. He was trying to do 100 peaks this year, different peaks. And our condolences, hearts go out to his family. He's got 2 young daughters. Just sad. But one thing we did see, though, is this trail running community really stepped up.
Yeah, they did.
Helped search and rescue out immensely. And I'm talking 2 things. One, staying out of their way when they were asked to, and then jumping in when they were asked to.
Right.
Supplies, we saw a huge reach of that. So that's something to just be, again, this just goes back to the community we're a part of, and I think everybody's a part of across, trail running in general. But yeah, just another side note, especially with the weather's changing. Please be careful out there. Please be prepared. Please know your skill level as well as know the conditions. If it's chancy, chance it another day, right? When it's not so sketchy. And again, I don't know the story. I'm not doing anything. Just want to remind people to be careful, because that's definitely something we don't want to see. Also, some other fun news. So I got in the mail, really surprisingly, I got a birthday card. Now, my birthday's in July.
I was going to say, it's your half birthday, huh?
Yeah, so I got a birthday card and a book. And it was from some listeners of the show.
Nice.
And they're from Utah. Completely surprised. The nicest card I've got, and I can't even tell you how long. Just super, the husband's like, man, thanks for putting on this podcast. You've built a great community. It helps me realize when things don't go right, you can still get it done. Right. Just super nice. And then, she had some words, and it struck me so hard. This is my motto moving forward.
Okay.
And I'm going to let everybody just take a second to clear their brains, because this is pretty legit. And basically, here it is in a nutshell. Go after discoveries and adventures that will become legend. Man, I'm sold. That's going to tattoo that on my neck so I can see it every day in the mirror.
Oh, my God.
So it's just like, have a good year. It's like, hope everything works out. It's just amazing. So that's what I want. People have discoveries and adventures that will become legends. So when you're sitting around after a race, having a beer, having a cocoa, having a cocoa, whatever, you can tell these stories that were just legendary from when you were out there. So thank you, listeners, and you know who you are, for the card and the book. Now some trail running news. Fresh off the press, just recently, Hard Rock has made some changes to their refund policy, if you will.
Refund?
So they've got a new refund policy. Okay. But even bigger news is the pregnancy policy. And we've talked about this before. It's been talked about real quick, but I'm going to do the refund one.
Okay, what is it?
So the refund one, I think, is going to change the minds and make the lottery a little bit not as hard to get into. And it's always going to be hard, but really? I think it's going to change. So now the full refund period has been eliminated. If you put your name in the lottery and you are drawn, the most you can get back is 50%. So it says, here's what they said. The full refund policy has been eliminated, and a 50% refund will be given if you withdraw from the entry list at any time.
Okay.
This means that if you are selected in the lottery, you will be on the hook for at least 50% of your entry fee.
Okay.
So that's different.
All right.
Because most people put in, right? And it's like, if I don't get in, I don't want to get in this year, right? I want to add my ticket. So if you get in now, before, you could just say, oh, you know what? I want to withdraw my name. I'm in. Give me all my money, or you don't pay yet, right? Now, if you put your name in the hat, you're on the hook, most likely, if you get in for 50%.
Wow.
So that could change certain people entering the lottery.
I don't think it will.
I think it might, because there's a lot of people, I think a lot of people do say, I hope I get in,
Hard
but I hope
Rock's
I don't.
pretty expensive, I think.
Yeah.
Like the whole endeavor.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I think most people are going to be...
But if you put in...
How much is the entry fee?
$1 million. I don't know.
Let's say $300-ish. So you're going to lose $150.
Yeah, just off the cup. Even if you're like,
I think
you
most
didn't want to
people
play.
are going to be okay with that.
Man, well then you send me the money.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I'll take 100 of it.
Yeah.
Instead, right? But
do we know how many people withdraw every year?
I don't know if anybody really knows. I don't know.
20%?
I don't know if this is one where you get drawn and then they charge your card, like they ask you first. I don't know if it's that way, because I know there's been races in the past that I know you can put in.
That was for
like Waldo, or not Waldo.
That was for waitlist. They'll do that.
Well, I think it was like the Gorge Waterfall 100K one year did that. Where,
right.
Oh, and you know which one I did that I got in was Miwok one year. So I put my name in, and I wasn't thinking, I swear at all. It was the first year we did our trail festival, and they were the same weekend.
Right.
And I put in for Miwok. I got an email saying, hey, you've been selected for Miwok.
Right.
Do you want it? And I was like, crap, I totally forgot I put in. But they didn't charge me. So I said no. So I didn't run my card. So I'm thinking this is pretty interesting news, and I bet more people are going to piggyback, because sometimes it just takes one person, and some already have it, I'm sure.
Well, I bet you more races are going to do this now. Instead of giving a full refund or a 75% refund, they'll only give a 50% refund. Yeah. But if you have a wait list and you're bringing people in to fill those spots, you're not missing out on money. You're actually making more money. So I want to know, what are they doing with that extra cash now?
50%.
Are they putting it into their scholarship fund? I'd be okay with that.
It didn't say that. And you can go to their website, and I'll try and put the link there, because I unfortunately didn't have the information, and I don't have Wi-Fi sitting here for my laptop, but I do on my phone.
Yeah, that's all right. But that's just my first thought is, what's happening to this extra money?
Yeah, and that's a lot of money, right? I mean,
potentially could be. Let's say they get 140 entrants, somewhere around that neighborhood. What do you think? 30 people?
We could say
total?
That. We could just throw that out there.
30 people total. 30 times what? Say 150?
Mm-hmm. It's not bad.
They're making some extra cash.
Yeah.
And as long as it's going to cover, scholarship fund or race fees or race expenses, that's fine.
Yeah.
Because they're a nonprofit.
It's just, I think, an interesting twist. But I think the next one is one that I think might be something that is adopted, and I've seen it a lot, is their pregnancy entry deferral, which we've talked about. So basically, any woman who has been selected for the entrance list of the Hard Rock 100 and becomes pregnant prior to run day. Mm-hmm. So you can submit their pregnancy deferral request.
Right.
And if you do that, so for example, you get in 2019 and you're like, oh man, I just got pregnant, right? You can get entry into 2020, 2021, or 2022. So you have a 3-year window that you're just in.
Pretty cool.
Right? Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
You have to go through the same application window though. But it's basically you defer it and say, you know what, I just got pregnant.
Right.
I don't know if you need proof or whatever. Here's my ultrasound. Here's my test in the mail that I peed on.
Here's my little larva.
Yeah. Here's part of the cord. But so you have 3 years for the women, which I think is cool.
Yeah.
Right? Especially for these hard ones to get into.
Oh, yeah.
I already saw some stuff on there. Again, and this is why it is so hard to be a race director.
Why?
You do something like this, which I think is absolutely positive.
Yeah. But
there were some people, this is men and women alike. This is not just men posting saying, and I've seen posts saying, well, if my wife just had the baby, why can't I defer mine? Because it's not like I want to leave her for a week or 4 to 5 days during newbornage or whatever. I'm still part of this group.
Yeah.
Although I'm not.
It's a good point.
And some women were saying the same thing. It's like, if my husband left me, like if I was supposed to have the baby during that time or just barely had it, I'd be pissed, right?
Yeah, but you know what?
You know what I mean?
No,
so
I mean, it has to be that person. It can't be the guy. I'm sorry. The guy can just say, "Yeah, I'm sorry, fellas. It doesn't count for you."
I'm not saying I disagree. I just think that you try and do something good.
Yeah, and then you've got these jackholes.
And again, it's you can't win as a race director.
No, you can't.
And because everybody's like, this is amazing. I can't believe you finally did it. It doesn't hurt anybody. Nah. But then it was like, wait a minute, and I'm like, come on, don't do this, people. And again, it wasn't just guys. I saw some different comments. But anyway, big news for sure, and one to keep your eye on to see if like a Western adopts it. Or,
kudos to those guys. I think both policies are actually pretty good.
And especially coming off what happened last year there. Right, so they're being proactive on other things. Where last year they kind of got hammered for the disqualification thing.
They did.
But it sounds like they've got a good board in which we have known. But
kind
of moving forward and seeing where the sport's trending and seeing what people need or want and kind of going in that direction. Okay, what else? So we did give away our ticket to the Trail Running Film Festival.
Oh, good.
That was selected or picked up by a friend of the show. It'll be fun to see them there. I still do have one extra ticket. I bought two. I only need one, so I probably still have one if anybody needs it. Also, some big news I'm super excited about, Joel. We've talked about we are partnering with a group. For the next month or so.
Okay.
And a lot of people have heard of them. We hadn't at the time until they reached out to me. They were doing some photo shoots in the area and wanted to know where to go.
They wanted us to show up.
Yeah, and I'm like, I would, but I haven't been lifting for the last 15 years.
Yeah, exactly.
So I probably don't look so solid.
I don't quite fit the model size.
Yeah. What size again? Yeah, I'm out. Medium. But no, a company called Path Projects. It's a new running apparel company from Huntington Beach, and they make super comfortable running shorts, shirts, baseliners, and headwear.
Yes.
So they sent us some stuff, and I know you're a huge fan of their 3/4 length shirt.
Sure, my favorite shirt.
And I'm a huge fan of their just shirt because they only send us a couple things. Yeah.
So nice.
And so I can wear that. And this is what's weird is it's not technical material.
No.
But I could run in it.
Yeah.
And feel totally fine. Like it's not like you're just checking on a Walmart cotton shirt and going for a run, but as you see on their website and everything else, is you can go to the coffee shop after, and you don't have this, orange, bright, green, reflective shirt or anything like that. But one of the things they are doing, which I think is pretty cool, is they only do consumer direct, right? So that's how they keep their costs down.
Yeah.
Because, again, it's a small company. They use premium materials, great stuff. So essentially what happens is you can't get it at a store. No. So they sell it to a store. Store's going to mark it up. It's going to be off the charts.
Right.
So you look at their pricing now. Their pricing, I think, is still on par with what's out there.
Right.
Some people might think it's more, but I'm telling you what, folks, go to Path Projects. And yes, they are partnering with us for the show, but you will see me in this. I'll be coaching in their stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Because our colors are black and gold. They got a black shirt.
Yep.
We both just getting their hoodie.
That hoodie looks pretty cool.
Looks way sweet. That's like, to wear, to dress up night.
Yeah, exactly. Dress up night. It's your date night.
That's date night apparel.
Yeah.
And it hasn't launched yet, but we're going to be doing contests with them to give away some gear, for us as well, through the podcast. But
I dare say their stuff's more comfortable than Rabbit. And right now, Rabbit is my benchmark for comfort.
Well, and here's my thing. I'm the same way with you with Rabbit, but my problem with Rabbit is the different types of materials.
Right.
Like, you have to really be careful.
You got to know which
the
one.
Mesh.
Yeah, not the mesh. I'm not talking the mesh.
Those are the ones I struggle with.
Yeah.
But there was a shirt I wanted, but it was only mesh. I'm like, no.
Yeah, exactly. No, I don't talk about the mesh. I'm talking about their mixed sleeve stuff.
Yeah, that's all I wore all this year is their sleeveless mixed sleeves.
Yeah, it's that stuff.
Yeah, and Path Projects makes a sleeveless.
They do.
Yeah, they make a short sleeve. Joel has a 3/4. They make shorts.
My favorite. I wore the shorts yesterday, the physical therapy.
Did you?
Yeah.
I got some coming. I'm excited. But yeah, check them out, Path Projects. Some of you might have heard about them. You do yourself a favor and just try something, right?
Yeah, at least try the 3/4. You can't go wrong there. It's the time of year to wear it.
Yeah, it is. And it is super comfy.
It
I seriously wear mine all the time. I feel
and look a good 30 pounds lighter when I put that shirt on.
I have more confidence.
Yes, me too.
I put the shirt on and I have more confidence. I walk around my apartment and I look good.
You do look good.
But we'll have a link in there. And again, we are partnering with these guys, so this is the way it works. But it's pathprojects.com. Eliminates the markup at retail, and you get it directly from them. And I'll tell you what, I've had the fortune to talk with them, and they are just super legit.
Right.
They get it. They run. They're in it for the right reason. So check them out, and we're pretty pumped to be working with those guys. Also, we got to send it out, folks. It's getting time. It's getting close. It's almost cutoff time for shirts for the Nordic Valley 7K.
Yes.
It is creeping up on us.
We'll be here soon.
It's like I'm going to be eating pumpkin pie. I'm going to put my fork down, and the next thing you know, it's going to be time to run.
Wearing shirts.
So please, if you're thinking about registering, just register. It's going to be a fun day. Spread the word. Get your friends involved. December 15th, the Nordic Valley 7K. It's our second year. Last year went pretty flawless in my opinion, so I don't think we need to tweak much.
Right.
So
nope.
it's, the snow is going to be the issue we can't control, but see if I can.
It could be fun, or it could be fun.
Or it could be funner,
yeah.
Right? And white. So we'd love to see you out there. That'd be a lot of fun. This week was my week for Woody Footies.
Right.
And I had a little problem there because there was some good. Yeah, I looked at hats, and I want to say we got like 7.
Okay.
Because there's definitely, I think we'd probably be done.
So we can run it through the end of the year, and let's be done then.
Yeah. You want to be done with it?
Yeah, let's be done with it then.
I want to do something else then.
Well, we can figure that out then, but it's time for us to get rid of these hats.
Yeah. So here we go. This week's winner was at the base of Mount Baird looking at Palisades Reservoir, and it was on the putts course. Jenn Haas Walker.
Yeah.
You were the winner this week of the Woody Footy contest. There were some other great ones for sure on there. Some past winners had some stellar photos. Mm-hmm. We had photos from Germany, Canada.
Yeah. So I think it's another reason to get rid of the hats is because so many of our past winners are putting in quality stuff.
We can get something different.
Yeah.
Because it's got to be legit. So we'll get that going. But congratulations, Jenn Haas Walker. Send me an email, manners@trailmanners.com with your shipping address. It goes out U.S. Postal Service, and we'll get that right out to you. This week's Strava was pretty cool. For last week's, we had a winner of mileage from Spain.
Wow.
Tristan Lee, 181 miles. It was a race somewhere in Spain.
That's a long way.
And all our top 3 people were all over 100 miles.
Oh, my goodness.
The run time, well, you'd guess, would be Tristan Lee from Spain again.
You're right.
61 hours and 43 minutes. And climbing, you're never going to guess, Tristan Lee. 27,579.
I'm surprised that old Erin Hill didn't beat him.
She only did 19.
Off week.
Off week. I think she rested. It was her rest week. Yeah, it was her rest week. And then our buddy Trevor Fuchs did 17K.
Oh,
and he's getting ready for hurt
is.
again this year.
Yep.
Congratulations to everybody there. But now we got to get into it because I know we got a lot of questions and a lot of good ones for folks. I don't know the number, but that
is a lot. We got quite a few. Right now.
Yeah, I had to print them. I usually
That's a couple pages.
Yeah. So the first one I will start with was and they come in the order we received them.
Okay.
Wizards of Singletrack, Lords of Long Climbs, and Demons of Descents.
We haven't heard from this guy in a long time.
I know, I love it.
You don't even have to tell me who it is. I already know who it is.
But I love this. Wizards of Singletrack,
yes.
Lords of Long Climbs, and Demons of Descents.
Yes.
That should be the TrailManners ambassador program, Demons of Descents.
Yes.
I implore you to help me with this canyon I'm in. I've lost my mojo. My running mojo. I'm not sure what mojo is, but I've displaced mine. I used to be a complete pain in the ass about running and ultras, and I'm not sure where it's gone.
Oh.
I think I dropped it on the Bondi Coogee coastal track, but no one has handed it in.
Simon!
So, my wizard friends, do you have any advice for anyone coming back from injury, missed lots of their favorite podcasts, and feeling a bit disconnected from something they love?
Right.
Any tips, advice, spells, potions, or a kick up the ass for me is greatly appreciated. Cheers and beers from down under. Maybe that's the problem. All the best, Simon. So basically, it sounds like Simon's in a funk.
Yes.
We all go through them.
Yes.
For different reasons, whether it's injury-based, whether it's after a race you feel bad, or personal problems, whatever. Right. We all go through them.
Yep.
And it's simple, Simon. It is very easy. First, go down to Redbox.
But they might not have Redbox.
Okay, go to Kangaroo Box.
There you go.
And get the movie McFarland USA. Throw that in. Watch that show.
Yeah.
Feel inspired.
All right.
And that's where you start.
Okay.
Then you jump on your laptop, which
Yeah.
I think they have in they have laptops.
I think they have those there.
I don't know if they have apples. Maybe they got, what do they have? Koalas? I don't know. Get on your laptop and you hear some songs you need to put on your playlist for your next run.
All right.
You start with Hannah Montana Wrecking Ball.
Oh my gosh.
I know it's actually Miley Cyrus. Start with Wrecking Ball because you're coming back. You're coming in like a wrecking ball,
right.
Simon. All right. Throw some Rocky IV soundtrack on there.
Rocky IV?
Throw some Greatest Showman soundtrack on there.
No, don't do that.
And you got to put some minute work on there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of the easy way.
That's pretty easy, huh?
You got to get your mind right, and that's going to happen. You watch McFarland USA, you'll cry at the end. I promise. I still do. Find a good little movie that you like, a little inspirational show. It doesn't have to be good. Kind of get your mind right, and then I think the biggest thing is just go put your shoes on. Don't put a watch on.
Yeah, don't put the watch on.
Don't get a training plan together.
Nope.
Wherever your favorite place to put your feet that you can get to,
Yep.
And don't go back to the track. The coastal track, because your mojo's not there anymore. It ran off. You need to go find it. And when I say find it, you got to go somewhere where you know you're going to run. If it's 2 miles, 1 mile walk, 1 mile run, whatever it is, and just smile and fall in love with it again.
Yeah.
Right? Don't have any pressures.
Nope.
And that's partly why it's like, I know I'm out of shape. I've been hurt. That's where I'm at. I missed 4 weeks, and now I'm like, oh man, this first couple weeks going to suck.
Yeah.
Finding your groove back, but just know what the groove feels like when you're in it, and you got to just work towards it.
It could take a while to get back to that groove.
It could, but I think you need to start with just kind of doing it off the grid.
Yeah.
You know, just unplug from everything, and, except for your Wrecking Ball playlist. And then I think that's really a good way. I've talked to a lot of people about this because I got your email. We've talked to a lot of people, and a lot of it is just the pressures, the stressors, and just know that it's not where you left off, but you can get there again and maybe better. Right, especially if you've been dealing with whatever it has been. So
I think this is a good opportunity for him to explore other activities, other hobbies, and then
whatever that might be, spearfishing.
Yeah, spearfishing.
I don't know what else.
Shark wrestling.
I think they do that.
Oh my gosh, we're going through all the cliches. I think it does. It gives you an idea to get out there, explore, do something different, and then maybe slowly come back around the running and. Maybe you love it again.
Well, maybe if you do other things, you'll realize how much you miss it too.
Yeah.
You know, because I'll tell you, it's a lot of fun when you do go into that, when you're in that funk, but you come out of it. Because sometimes it's just a recharge. You know, you need some time away, no matter if you had to take it or not.
Right.
But just have fun again.
Well, I think
remember why you did it.
The important thing to remember is, one, you signed up for Vaquero Loco.
Yeah.
So you need to have some sort of giddy up.
Now,
so get yourself over here and run that race, because number one, that could be the last Vaquero Loco ever. Mm-hmm. And what a wonderful way for you to experience a race in the U.S. by going to the very last Vaquero Loco.
Yep.
Number two, we'll both be there.
Yep.
Number three, that's going to be one of my 2 races I run next year.
Wow. Joel's throwing down some stuff today.
So I think that there's 3 really good reasons for you to come over and do that race. So find that mojo, keep rolling with it, and we'll see you next August.
And I believe if you withdraw from the same race 2 years in a row, you can't even get in the country. There's something there.
Good point.
So I think you have to remember that, and you're just kind of stuck to it. So, anyway, let us know. Keep us posted. And then listeners, if you got ideas, man, please post it on the Facebook page so Simon can read those things.
Yeah.
And we want to wish Simon well. We love Simon, and in all seriousness, just you'll get back to it.
Yeah, he will.
You've loved it for a long time. Maybe you just did it too long, and now you're just kind of coming back around.
Yeah.
All right, next question comes from Kurt. Hey guys, love the podcast. I'm starting to get back into running after years of swearing it off. 9 years in the Army gave me a deep hatred of running, but now that I found out about these trail races, I have a newfound obsession. My question is, what is a realistic timeline progression for someone that is just starting back at square one with a 5K road race, but has aspirations of one day completing a 100-mile trail race?
This is not Kurt Stein.
No, I'm not. It was Kurt.
Okay.
So I'll let Joel start with this one. So basically, how does he get to 100-miler? How do you get 0 to 100-miler?
Oh man, you gotta take it slow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so let's say your race is at the end of September. You've got 10 months to prepare for it.
Yeah.
Going to do all your foundation work first. So you're going to do all your cross-training gym work now through the springtime. And at the same time, you'll be laying in that foundation of run training. So just base work. That's where you'll start. Just having consistency, try to avoid the injury bug. You're also at that time honing in what gear you like to use: shoes, shorts, shirts, nutrition. You know, that's your time to kind of experiment with everything. Then spring and summer rolls around, then you're starting to do your quality run work. So tempo runs, intervals, power runs. Our good friend Ty Draney has a power run in his workouts that are crushing, but so great for building fitness. So you're doing your quality work late spring and through your early summer, and then through mid and late summer you're maintaining, and boom, there's your 100-miler.
Yeah.
So you're just building up, and as we've said in the past, once you have a good foundation, it's about doing back-to-back long runs on the weekend if you can, once a month. That'll help out. Being patient, trying not to rush things.
Well, and that's the thing. It kind of depends on your timeline, too.
Yeah.
So when do you want to do a 100-miler? If it's,
If it's 10 months out, there's your plan right there.
Yeah, but if maybe it's 2 years away. Maybe it's not this September, but the next. You have plenty of time.
That's a long way.
Yeah, right? So
don't lose focus.
But I think what Joel hit on the head is you got to be patient. You have to do it the right way. You can't jump too quick, too far.
Yeah, I've done that in the past. And
I think everybody has.
Paid the price.
Yeah, I think everybody has. You get behind, or something else takes over, but you're signed up, or you want to do this.
Right.
So, just maybe get a calendar out, plan it, plan a 10-month block or whatever the block is, and say, okay, by here I need to be here. Right. And then lastly, too, what wouldn't hurt if you really want to do it is, maybe get a hold of a coach.
Yeah, for sure. That'll help you out a lot.
Yeah, it's always there. It is an expense for sure, but
I think it's a worthy one.
Yeah, you're going to be super, structured.
Yep.
And so all of the injury from doing it the wrong way will be out the door.
Right.
Injuries, just now you're looking at if you roll an ankle, if you fall, whatever, as opposed to, I'd push too hard.
Right.
Because they're going to put you on a plan, and maybe you call them and say, hey, coach, I'm thinking about getting a coach. This is my goal. I want a 100-mile race by hand. Some might say, I'm not comfortable working with that. Or some people like, plenty of time. We got this. What's your background? And, I think you would be, if you're serious about it, if you can, coach, I think is a great way to go. And there's a lot out there. We've talked about some on our show, but just be patient. 100-mile races are going to be there for a long time.
Yes, they will.
So if you try and do it too fast, like Joel said, you could get injured, or you could just not enjoy it.
Yeah. Enjoy those things.
And you know what? Me and Joel say it all the time. You cannot fake a 100-mile race.
I've tried.
Yeah.
I've not gotten one down yet.
You got to be ready to roll. There's too much that happens. So going into one with not wanting it because you're bored or tired, or like Simon, losing your mojo, your chances aren't well. Because because you said it, one day completing a 100-mile trail race.
That's the important thing.
And also I think it goes back to what type of race it is. If it's going to be a flat race, mountainous race, and so again, it kind of structures your training to what you're doing, right? So I think that's a good option. And if you have any questions or want some leads on some coaches, we can definitely shoot us an email. We can definitely point you in some directions.
Right.
Or you can talk to people in your area or people maybe you are aware of. So I think that helped. We got 2 more. This one, I apologize. We actually got this one to do last week, but it came through on Facebook Messenger, and I just missed it. So this is my fault. This is an anonymous one. They want to remain anonymous, and once I say, you'll understand why. And this is a good one.
God, is that long?
No, it's this long.
That is long.
That's pretty long, but not as long as Simon's.
Good point.
Okay. Soon after a 50K that I completed in, I discovered through Strava that someone cut the course by about 4 miles.
Didn't we talk about this last week?
Did we? Did we bring it up?
Keep reading. I think we talked about this last week.
I don't think so. If I did, I'm sorry. I don't remember talking about it. I don't think we did.
We talked about. Keep going.
Okay, I don't think we did. But
anyways, keep going. Keep going. I'll
maybe
cut you off.
Maybe you read it on Facebook.
No.
Okay. There was an out and back section that a runner missed. I don't remember talking about this.
Keep going.
This section was definitely the hardest portion of the course, hands down.
Right.
The turnaround point. Wait, Liz, we redo this one?
We talked about this.
We did?
Yes.
So what was the final thing?
We said let it go.
Oh, we did?
Yes.
God, I don't remember that. I need to go
keep
to the
reading.
doctor.
Okay, let's give this person a fair shot.
The turnaround point had a check-in procedure, but it wasn't verified at the end of the race.
Right.
I mingled with the runner at the finish line, and they were very nice and loved the race.
Uh-huh.
They were in a podium position. They weren't, in a podium position. Never ran these trails before, and I really think they just made a wrong turn.
Yeah.
The RD clearly explained the course prior to the race, and the course was well marked. I don't want to cause any trouble, as I want to believe this was an honest mistake.
Right.
As an RD, would you want to know about this, and how would you handle it?
Yes. So how we talked about is, yes, we want to know. No, we probably would not have DQ'd this person. If they're a podium, yes.
Yeah.
But since they're middle of the packer and it was an honest mistake, I wouldn't DQ them. If they'd done it on purpose, yes, I would DQ them. We did talk about this last week.
So I think, like Joel said, I don't remember still, so
That's
I apologize, and I'm that old. But as an RD, I absolutely would want to know, and I think the most important thing is we just handle it internally.
Yes,
no one needs to know about it. No. We would talk to that person and say, hey, did you, kind of get their feel for it. As the runner, would you want to know about this, or would you rather hear it from the RD or another runner?
You want to hear from the RD.
RD,
yes.
Because, it could get into splitting hairs with another runner and whatever it might be.
You let the RD be the bad guy.
And that's what they're there for, right? Race director, that's their responsibility. I think you absolutely bring it to the race director's attention, though, just because what if this person wants to run it again next year?
Yeah.
Whatever. You don't know the reason, but I think it's just, like you said, especially if you think it's an honest thing, let the race director know, and then they deal with it and it's out of your hair.
Right.
Right? And I think that's the best way to go. So if Joel says we covered it. I'm still on the fence on it. And I'm going to have to go back and listen to our last podcast again. But if we did cover it, then we covered it again.
Right.
And hopefully we were consistent with our answer.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're consistent.
All right. Last one from another longtime listener, Dave Stevenson. Doing a 48-hour race in February.
Oh, my gosh.
Simple question. There is no simple questions in a 48-hour race. But here it is. Simple question. Sleep or no sleep? Basically, they didn't sleep at the same event last year, but they only did the 24-hour.
Right.
They're shooting for over 100 miles for the race, and it's I almost threw up again. 2.5-mile loop course with very little elevation.
That's a long course.
2.5-mile
for
loop.
For a loop, that's pretty long.
With little elevation. So you have 48 hours, basically 48 hours to do 100 miles on a flat course.
Okay.
So
now, is there a porta potty at the end there?
I would imagine.
So he can hide?
I didn't think that's where we were going with this.
He can hide out?
And I will say, on a side note, I cannot tell you how many porta potty costumes I saw from runners from last week for that Halloween thing. So I called it an earlier, and I was a little surprised that people remembered, to be honest with you.
It's the
there
best.
were some funny ones, too.
It's the best one. Anyway,
so
to sleep or not to sleep is the question.
Sleep.
I say don't sleep. It's 48 hours. Go for it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Depends on, it's 100, you can do 48 hours and 100 miles on a flat course. So think of like Wasatch Cutoff, for example. It's 36 hours.
Yeah.
So that would leave you 12 more hours. So you can sleep if you want.
Gosh,
so
that sounds awful.
I think go into it with a plan. I mean, you don't know what it's going to be like after 24 hours because you haven't run more than 24 hours.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah,
so you have somebody. But if you haven't, you don't know. And we talk to people that have done 200-mile races, and it's like if you sleep, you might have to. If you're tired, you might have to sleep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So if you
48, I think he can make it. I think he can make 48.
So if you can stay up for 48 hours and be Because what's going to happen, Dave, is what's going to happen is your mind is going to start wanting to not keep going.
Oh, gosh, especially that first night between like midnight and 4.
Yeah.
Your mind's going to say, I need some sleep.
Yep.
And you just tell it to shut right up and drink more coffee.
And I know you probably don't drink coffee, but I also know that it's going to want you, even at like 10 a.m. the next day, you're just going to be like, this sucks. Because you're going to be fatigued.
Yeah, exactly. It's probably going to be warm.
Yeah, so it might be a good idea to sleep to wake up fresh again. Right?
Man, I don't know. I think just go for it.
I'm not saying not to, but
well, how long? What's his sleep interval going to be? What do you allow him?
Well, I think it's just
20 minutes, half hour.
I think it depends on where he's at. I slept at Wasatch 100 for 3 hours once at mile 75. And you know what? Before that sleep, I was ready to DNF.
Yeah.
I went to sleep in a coma. I woke up from my coma with a beard. It was 3 hours later, and I finished the race.
Pretty fresh. Huh?
I was. So I don't know if you put a time limit on something
awesome.
like this. If your goal is to go 100 miles, I think you do whatever you need to do.
Well, see, I think he's going to hit the 100 miles no problem.
Yeah, I do
That's
too.
how I look at it. It's like, okay, you're going to hit that 100. I think you're going to hit 120. So go for it, right?
I know he can do it.
Right.
But I mean, for me, a 2.5 mile loop, I would need some sleep just to forget about it for a little while. You know what I mean? Have a dream, even if it was a scary dream.
Oh man, I'd say go for it,
a unicorn impelled me. That's trying to
prove either one of us wrong. How's that? One of us has to be wrong. Help us.
At the end of the day, Dave, there's not a right or wrong answer.
There's not. The right answer is we're excited for you.
Heck yeah, 100 miles.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But I think we don't doubt you're going to do it. We already know you're going to do it. But I just think,
I say
on
you
where
just
you're
pound
at.
some Smurf nuts and go for it.
Go for it, man.
Yeah.
Like if you're at mile 98 and there's 46 hours,
Better
don't
not
take a nap.
sleep. Yeah. You'll be in big trouble.
But
your wife will kill you.
Yeah, if you're at mile 90 and you're tired and you're 24 hours in or something, it's like, go for it, bro.
Get a 20-minute nap.
Yeah, get a little cat nap, get back up, and
keep going.
Keep going, man. Rub some squirrel's nut butter on it and just get after
the spicy
it.
kind.
Yeah, just refresh. But yeah, I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. I think this is a question I think that you could debate with 10 different people all day long.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, though, we know you're going to do the 100.
Yeah.
I think you just go according to how you feel, just knowing that you have to get 100 miles.
Yeah,
right.
That's the important thing. Got to get that 100.
That's the important thing. I would probably take a nap just because it'd probably be fun.
That's the old man in you talking right there.
I don't nap either.
Yeah,
but
I'm about ready for one.
Hey, so here's the deal. Why not sleep between 12 p.m. and 4 a.m., the worst part?
I've thought if I have ever done a 200-miler, that's probably when I would start to schedule my sleep.
We talk about it
all
the time.
Try to get to the sleep station that's closest to midnight.
Yep. And just
sleep. Take a 4-hour nap.
See? Because that's always the worst part.
Yeah.
And it's the slowest.
Yep.
And it's the mind-numbingest.
Yep.
So he could do that.
He could.
See?
I don't know what their sleep station's like, if it's going to be nice
I think
and
you
quiet.
do I think it's the start-finish, so I think it's probably like across the years where there's a tent and heater and
porta potty set up somewhere and go in there.
5-gallon Home Depot bucket.
Yeah.
And I think you're set up, man. I think you're just set up. Yeah, or you hire the people from that Climb Everest, and they can put a tent up for you for minimal cost.
Yeah, exactly.
Dave, you're going to do it.
Yeah.
I think you just kind of go into it, know what your training is, and
that's a good point. Why don't you, Dave, see how fast you can run for the first day until midnight.
So you're basically saying run hard.
Run as hard as you can until midnight.
Till midnight, and then take a nap.
And then take a nap and see how you feel at 4 a.m. But we want you to go out and experiment with this first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So run a couple 48-hour races.
No, just I think this was like a good practice for him. Like on a Saturday. Maybe Sunday. Skip church. I mean, you can go to church outside. Run as hard as you can, Dave, from 6 in the morning until midnight.
And see what happens.
And see how far you get.
Well, and Dave runs a lot.
Did you see he ran around that roundabout? He did like 10 miles in a roundabout.
Oh. Well, he's about ready to do the same thing at a 48-hour race, so he's got the training down. No, you can do it. I think it boils down to how you feel, what you want to do, because you're going to get it done.
Right.
You have just 48 hours to do it, right? All right, I think that is it for this week's question. So great questions again. We'd love to hear from the TrailManners listeners if you want to comment on some of those, especially Simon's, because I know a lot of people struggle with that, losing your mojo, and they don't put it as eloquently as Simon, and I will probably cut this out and paste it on my wall because I love it, because he always brings it. But yeah, Simon, I think even going back to what Jill says, we just want to meet you, so get your mojo back. We'll buy beers when you're in El Vaquero. It's on us.
I'll buy you some mojo.
Yeah, exactly. We got some mojo beer here, so we'll buy that for you. But yeah, thanks for listening to the podcast, everybody. We really do appreciate it. We have a lot of fun, and I hope everybody does as well. Please send questions in to Ask TrailManners. Again, another plug. We'd love to see you at the Nordic Valley 7K this December. And again, the Ogden Trail Running Festival is truly right around the corner. And do yourself a gymongous favor.
Gymongous.
And go to pathprojects.com and check out their stuff. They don't have, it's like gray, black, white. It is simple. It is good looking.
They have like 3 things.
I think you're going to be a more confident person.
Yeah.
I think it's really paid off for me. Like, that's why I need to get like 7 shirts, so I just have a fresh one every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I can always feel, I'd wear it under stuff even. I'm like, I feel comfortable. My Superman's underneath.
That's right.
My tube top this week. So I feel super confident. And just keep the comments coming. We appreciate it. And we'll hear from us again next week. So this is Eric and Joel, Singletrack Session 113, and we are out.